where the hell is our red zone offense? We're going to take a deep dive today on the Dom Mafia Report. Stay tuned. Yo ho ho, Bills Mafia. Welcome to yet another edition of the Dom Mafia Report. Say that you're new here. My name is Dan Mitchell. I'm an avid member of the Bills Mafia, and I regularly put out videos about the Buffalo Bills and the NFL in general. If that is your cup of tea, I highly recommend subscribing to this channel right now and smashing the out of that like button. So yeah, Bills Mafia, you did read that title correctly, and I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer. I am absolutely ecstatic that we snapped the funk and we ended up taking care of business against a team that we should have taken care of business against. The Buffalo Bills ended up winning, right? We put up 31 points, and from a casual fan, you should be happy, right? Seems like that we're putting things together. However, I do need to nitpick a bit, especially as the competition is going to get a bit more competitive throughout the next couple of weeks. And it's all centralized around our red zone offense. It has just quite simply not been the same from most previous years. Now, as much as I want to praise Tyler Bass, in which we should, he went 6 for 6 in field goals against the Cleveland Browns. However, we are simply just not executing the way that we typically do, especially compared to last year. And this video I wanted to dedicate who is to blame. And so is it Ken Dorsey's play calling? Is it personnel? Is it Josh Allen? And in this video, we are going to look at all of those potential reasons and see if we can find some sort of answer and see if we can pave a way into, frankly, the Buffalo Bills waking the up. And so, but before I dive into that, I do want to give just a giant announcement. The boys at the AFC East Roundtable are coming to Buffalo, New York on Saturday, December 17th, the night before Buffalo Bills versus Miami Dolphins, and we are hosting an exclusive event called Battle for the East. Now, this is going to be hosted at Townhouse in Hamburg, and tickets are going very, very fast. So say that you're interested and you want to enjoy a huge spread of food, giveaways, and having an opportunity to have a drink and meet myself and TD Finstalk, Richie, and Master at work. We would love to see you. That information is going to be in my description. Make sure you get those tickets as soon as humanly possible because they are flying off the shelves. Hey, you. Yeah, that's right, you. The guy that's sitting on the shitter right now, staring down at his phone with his double chin. Why haven't you hit the like button yet, dog? I asked you nicely. Literally 3 seconds ago. You're sitting there, it's like, oh, content, this dude. Hit that like button. Hit that like button. So yeah, Bills Mafia, there is absolutely no question that our overall effectiveness in the red zone has gone out the window, particularly in the year of 2022. I mean, honestly, let's take a look at current rankings. The Buffalo Bills are ranked 23rd in the NFL for red zone success, particularly when it comes into scoring, sitting at a measly 51.28%. So where compared to 2021, we led the league at 66.28%. It was a complete game changer, and this year it has been an absolute cluster. I mean, we're seeing turnovers, we're seeing lack of execution when it comes into play calls, we're seeing head-scratching play calls, so something has to give, right? Something has to give, and we need to figure out what exactly that might be and if there's a possibility that we can turn it around. So my number one theory is this. The number one reason why our red zone numbers have been lackluster and throughout the past couple of weeks, particularly in this season, has everything to do with turnovers. Now this year, unfortunately, the Buffalo Bills are leading the league in turnovers in the red zone at 3.7%, which is not a good statistic to lead the league in. And that's out of 135 plays in the red zone. The Bills have turned it over 5 times with 3 interceptions and 2 fumbles. When you compare that to last year in 2021, the Bills only had 0.6% turnover percentage in the red zone, which was tied for 4th smallest in the entire league. And to make it even more impressive is the fact the Buffalo Bills ran 326 plays in the red zone last year. Once you consider that there was only 2 overall turnovers, which were interceptions, That is crazy. But where the hell is that red zone offense this year? Now, I think these numbers may be a little fudged because, say, for example, that the Buffalo Bills were to erase those turnovers in the red zone this year, that they would have jumped from their measly 51% all the way to 67.65%, which would tie them for sixth in overall scoring in the red zone. So, really, at the end of the day, if you look at it, it's quite a simple formula. Don't turn the ball over in the red zone, and you are exactly where you were, or at least a lot better than where you currently are. So while that seems to be the easiest answer, I started doing a bit more digging, and I was just asking myself, I was just like, okay, like maybe there's a considerable change in overall play calling since Dorsey is now at the helm. Maybe we're running the ball a hell of a lot more compared to 2021, or we're passing it a bit more, but nope, it's not much of a change whatsoever. As you can see in 2021, within the red zone, it was 34% run plays and 66% pass plays, and then this year, literally not much of a difference at all, just literally shaved by a percent. 33% run play and a 67% pass play. So really wasn't a lot of a difference in overall play calling. So the play calling between Dorsey and Dable in those particular situations have not particularly changed. Now, if anything, there is a bit of a difference when it comes down into any type of goal-to-goal situation. That means when the Buffalo Bills are first, second, third, or fourth and goal, etc. And there is a bit of a change there, where in 2021, we tended to run the ball a bit more in those situations at 42% and 58% of a pass. But this year, we are only running the ball 34% of the time and going for the pass 66% of the time. So it just goes to show you that the Buffalo Bills have had a good running game all year, completely all year, but besides this past Sunday, we have completely ignored that. Devin Singletary and James Cook did tremendous yesterday. I'm talking 88 yards apiece. They were efficient on the ground. And look at that. When the Buffalo Bills run the ball and they don't rely entirely on Josh Allen to be 99.999% of their offense, things change. Now, these numbers, like I said, with 2021, that is the entire season. We are only halfway, a little past halfway. So these numbers may change a bit more, but it seems like that when it comes into those goal line situations, don't be afraid to run the damn ball with our running backs. Singletary and James Cook, especially compared to last Sunday, have been doing great. Next up, it could potentially be Josh Allen. We all know that he's had his share of struggles throughout the past couple of games. Even last Sunday, I would say his first half was not impressive whatsoever. His second half, he ended up turning it around, and we saw a glimpse of what we were used to as Buffalo Bills fans, but his red zone struggles continue. And so this year, Allen has 16 red zone rushes for 42 yards and 3 touchdowns, and he's only completing 51% of his red zone passes with 3 turnovers. In 2021, in comparison, and so he posted 32 rushes for 140 yards with 6 touchdowns in the red zone and a completion percentage of 55.6 with just 2. Now, both of those numbers with completion percentage is not ideal, but you need to understand that that is a very, very short field, and 55 is actually quite efficient when it comes into the red zone and passing. It's just the turnovers that seem to be the issue. So really, I think that if they can just tighten that up a little bit more, they run the ball in the red zone a bit more, and chew away the clock, and so I think that we will be able to turn this around. And so next up is probably going to have to be play calling, which is always the number one thing that everybody is so quick to blame. But as mentioned previously, there's really not much of a difference. If anything, if I had to say, it's just our players not executing appropriately and the overall personnel. As much as we love Isaiah McKenzie, we're not utilizing him where his strength is, and that's the gadget sort of plays. I mean, how many jet sweeps have we seen from Isaiah McKenzie this year, which has been a massive part of our offense, especially when it comes into the goal-to-goal situations and even into the red zone. I'm really not seeing much of a difference in any of the play calls between Dable and Dorsey as of now. I do know yesterday when I was mid-first quarter, mid-second quarter of that game, I ended up sending out this tweet saying Dorsey was not it, but I was in my feels, give me a break. From what I am seeing, there's really not much of a difference, and the only thing that I think that can completely turn this red zone offense around is simply just cleaning up those damn turnovers. And so a successful offense is an offense that is successful in the red zone. That's a great metric to see what a healthy offense looks like. And if you were to take away those missing touchdowns that happened in those 3 losses that were caused by the turnovers, the bad decision-making from Josh Allen or the fumbles, those would have turned into victories, and the Buffalo Bills currently would have been undefeated. So it sounds like just a couple of very small tweaks, and even with our defense in literal body bags, they have proved that they can make it happen. The scheme is successful. And so, I mean, when you can hold Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt to the rush yards that they put up this past Sunday, the defense is not the issue whatsoever. It's just that decision-making and the turnovers in the red zone will completely change it up. So if the Buffalo Bills can clean that up and continue, last Sunday was amazing. 0 turnovers on the Bills side of things. I loved it. I hope that we can continue to do this for the rest of the season. Then we should have nothing to worry about, and this data is clearly skewed. So Bills Mafia, do me a favor, leave a comment. What are your thoughts on the red zone? What do you think could be a potential fix? What do you think is the issue? I always love hearing your thoughts. Once again, make sure you subscribe to this channel if you have not already. Smash that like button. And before I let you go, you better always remember, let's go Buffalo.